Booyaka! Hi all, Jin here, and here with the return of Selphie. First off, I'd like to give another quick thanks to all who've supported my channel. It seems unreal that I'm reaching 1k subs soon, but I really appreciate all those who have not only subbed, but watched, liked, or commented, etc. along with the fellow DFFOO content creators who have supported me as well. This community is amazing and the main reason I make these videos. I may try to do a special vid for it in the future, but I'm a bit swamped with work at the moment, so hopefully this thanks and words of appreciation will do for now, and please be sure to stay safe everyone. Alright, enough of that, on to Selphie. One of my favorite supports to play is finally back with her EX+. In only a week's time, she'll be my third of 5 purples this month that I'll be covering, the previous 2 being Vayne and Beatrix, the videos are already up, and the future 2 being Leo and Fran. As with my previous analysis vids, I'll be going over what she gets, what I think of her kit, my recommendations, along with taking her out to the current chaos fight to see how she performs. As usual, there are timestamps in the pinned comments so you can jump to any part of the video that you'd like. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. We got a early surprise Cecil EX realization, so I'll just give my quick thoughts on him first. Dark Knight Cecil, seems he got the Noctis treatment, a launcher that was subpar on his release, so was moved up months ahead. Pretty exciting. I like how GL is throwing us some curveballs. He's definitely strong at this point in time for sure, but he really needs that 3-3 to make a difference. That's where he gets his EX to hit twice, and he unlocks his upgraded HP Plus and Brave Plus, and his EX has always recharged his skills, but now it Imperial's Dark, which you can get from 0-3 already. For me personally, I was never going to 3-3 him, so I'm probably just going to grab his EX from the Spring Tokens EX shop, and then book him for some launch funsies, and that'll be it. Hoping I can resist the temptation to 3-3 him, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to, just for fun, and that it's so early. His playstyle is fun for sure, but it's a bit complicated and requires babysitting. His kit revolves around his health being below 50% to do the most damage and get his plus version abilities. He has many ways to reduce his health below that threshold, and he is unkillable when his health is above 20%, so before he takes an HP attack you will need to heal him above that threshold. With his EX plus 3-3 he has more ways to reduce his health and heal himself to manage his health better, and those come from his upgraded HP plus and Brave plus abilities. He's a bit slow, so getting good launches will be tough, but when you do, that giant battery from his Valiant Blow skill 2 is just amazing for launches. And I'm sure he'll make a pretty good friend as well. Probably the best teammate for him is Rem. Since she has minimal HP regen, she can do single heals to avoid healing him, although of course her EX does heal some too. But she can swap turns, so he's first in launch order, and then he can just go ham on the launch and then battery the whole party, and it does some ridiculous damage. And it's pretty much infinite because his EX recharges his skills. So all in all, not a bad investment, but just not an investment that I plan to do or have enough ingots to do at the moment because I'd rather do other people. But you can check out all those microscopic details on the infographics here, thanks to the Tonberry Troupe. Alright, on to Selphie. Selphie already had a level 70, so the only thing new she'll be receiving is a slight rework in EX+. Her rework involves her buffs from skill 2 going from 6 turns to 8 turns. Yay! Skill 1 Brave gain increases by 20%, so 50% total. Her Brave Plus goes from 1 hit to 2 hits, another lackluster improvement, but it now batteries the party by 20% of her max Brave, and is gained only by being buffed now, rather than tied to her skill 2. Her C54 now increases the party attack by 40% instead of 20%, so all in all, not an amazing rehaul, but it's something at least. She was already pretty good to begin with, so it's not bad after all. Before moving on to her EX+, I'll just quickly go over her base kit. A skill 1 is Drain, and it will gain 50% of her max Brave before an HP attack, which heals the party by 50% damage dealt, or 30% of max HP. Any excess heal will be converted to Brave, and at base EX, this is her only source of healing for the party outside of her C65. It will also give herself a Brave regen of 50% iBrave for 5 turns. Skill 2, Wall, will battery the party by 30% max Brave, while granting herself max Brave up of 50%, and the party an iBrave buff up of 100%, and the unique buff Wall for 8 turns, which will give Brave damage resist by 30% and give debuff evasion of 70%. Yes, that's 70%, not 100%, which is quite noticeable if you played her before. Any Brave reduction from Brave hits to the party will be given as Brave to Selphie. Her EX ability called Aura will battery the party by 30% and not consume any turn count, and will give her instant turn rate and grant the party a unique buff also called Aura for 3 turns, which increases EX recast rate by 20% while giving Brave regen of 40% iBrave. Her HP Plus she gets from Emma being her base EX, and that will battery the party by 20% HP damage dealt, including herself. Her C65 and C70 will recover 1 use of each of her abilities, while battering the party by 20% of max Brave and healing the party by 10% of max HP. Her Bloom increases the battery to 50% total and heals to 20% total. Her Bloom is more necessary if you don't plan to EX plus 2-3 her, because she will have limited healing with 7 uses of Drain only, so one last final burst of healing might make the difference between making the HP requirement or not. But if you at least 2-3 her, you may not need it as much, but I already got it for her on her level 70 awakening, but I would have gotten it anyway either way since I do it for all my purples. And I briefly mentioned her EX plus, so let's go over it, shall we? As always, thanks to the Tonberry Troupe for providing these wonderful graphics. Links to their infographics will be in the description below. At 0-3, her EX ability's battery increases from 30 to 50% of her max Brave, and the battery can overflow by 120%. At 1-3, she gains attack up of 80%, and at the beginning of the battle, the party starts with 3 turns of her EX buff aura. At 2-3, her EX ability heals for 20% of max HP. At 3-3, her EX buff grants an additional 20% overflow to both the battery and Stolen Brave, and this applies to everyone who has the buff on. She gains her HP++, which gains Brave by 20% of max Brave and allows 120% overflow before dealing an HP attack. It still only batters the party by 20% HP damage dealt though, unfortunately. So what would I suggest you invest in her? Well, I'd say it depends on how much you like her and how much you are wanting to use her and how much you enjoy her kit. She's a great support that will work at a budget 0-3 if you want, and can be easily slotted into Dimension's End as your only support at 0-3. These kinds of supports are very useful, and you can never have enough budget support fillers for Dimension's End. This will also allow you to reshuffle team comps if you need to, and 1 ingot gained from booking while filling 1 party slot in Dimension's End is very valuable. The benefits for 1-3 is basically allowing everyone to charge their EX ASAP, because the first charge is always the slowest, so everyone starting with her aura buff is really quite useful. The 80% attack up is a giant number, but it's pretty much a joke. She has no need for attack. If you're relying on her Brave Plus to shave, you're most likely in trouble anyways. Although it at least will be better than before, but still, thanks Square. Meanwhile, they give Steiner only 20% attack up. Trolls. Anyways, the benefits for 2-3 is that it adds unlimited healing to her kit, essentially. Her drains are limited, so this will increase Selphie's usefulness for hard content by a lot. She goes from a support you can't take HP damage with often, to one who can handle it. And at 3-3, she gets her HP++ and even more battery on her EX, and everyone gets extra overflow almost all the time via both battery and Brave damage, assuming they're not too much faster than Selphie, since her EX buff also helps her own EX recharge faster, of course, so she will apply the buffs often. I would say giving her 1-3 is the least valuable. That's the least valuable, while leaving her at 0-3 or giving her 3-3 has the most value. I can understand the reasoning for 2-3, but with just 1 more ingot you can gain a much improved HP++ ability, which she actually uses often, and gives the party additional 20% overflow when they have the buff on, which is quite a bit. So if you're going to go that far into 2-3, you might as well go 3-3. And that's also why I purpled her. I love her, and I love her gameplay, and plan to use her for content far into the future. Her sphere is also amazing, an aura sphere for a C slot. That increases party iBrave and max Brave by 5%. But it's only for 3 turns when own HP is restored. So it's not bad for Selphie herself, especially if you 2-3'd her, since she gets healing from the 2-3, but it only has a 3 turn length, so it won't be up all the time anyways because she's not constantly healing. It's much more amazing for the meta supports with HP regen that benefit from increasing iBrave and max Brave for themselves and the party, which would be like Rosa or Penelo. It's not that great for Y'shtola since she only heals on EX. I'd suggest giving Selphie other C-spheres that revolve around iBrave since her iBrave buffs are ridiculous, like Penelo's C-sphere that raises party members' Brave by 20% of their iBrave after granting a buff, or Yuna's when HP is restored raises each party member's Brave by 20% of their iBrave. Although I still say Yuna's sphere is best on like Rosa or Lena because it always procs when their HP regen goes off, and they're also busted iBrave boosters. For D-spheres, any is generally fine, but if you want to specifically benefit Selphie, then max Brave D-spheres are the best. If you want to double down on her ridiculous iBrave boosts already, then give iBrave D-sphere boosts. Or if you want to shore up her lowish attack aura, then give her D-spheres that boost party attack. Or any sphere that has a combo of them. D-spheres are generally great. Do not do what I've done. I repeat, do not do this. I accidentally gave Selphie Beatrix's sphere, which raises party max Brave by 5% for 6 turns when dealing a critical hit. Please put an F in the comment, please. Selphie is not known for her critical hits. It will only proc with her Brave Plus. This was my first D-sphere I was so excited to have, and I completely wasted it. Let this be a lesson to those who stay up too long, too many nights in a row. You can end up brain dead like me. So I need that JP quality of life, please, to remove spheres. But, well, I guess I just made Selphie's worst ability, her Brave Plus, a bit more useful now. Good lord. Hurts me every time I see it. Anyways, for art recommendations, C50 is definitely priority, as it is for all party auras, with 330 being the far definitive second priority, since all her batteries and such are based on max Brave, while increasing the amount of Brave she can hold too. So you're generally looking for 330 C50. 170 is a distant third, only for her regen. So, how to play Selphie? You're generally going to want to start with her skill 2 to get the buffs up, and assuming you at least EX plus 1-3 her, I would generally want to use everyone else's skills to start off as well, to make the most use of the aura buff at the beginning. I do pay attention to when characters have their aura buff on, then I'll be more likely to use a skill, since you'll notice a much faster EX recharge if you use skills with the buff on, versus only doing like an HP plus. Also before EX plus, if other characters have their EX already charged, I may have waited to use Selphie's EX until after, so it's not a turn wasted of her aura buff. But if you 3-3'd her, then aura being applied with the additional 20% overflow on their EXs is perfectly fine. So 3-3'ing her actually simplifies her gameplay to where you can just reapply aura without any worry of wasting it. Otherwise, it's something you can consider when casting her EX at anything below 3-3 if you want to save the aura buff for your party members to use an ability after their EX. After every EX cast, Selphie will get an instant turn, and generally you will HP plus after this, unless you need to heal immediately with Drain, which is one reason having your HP plus at 3-3 is much nicer, since you'll generally EX into HP plus, and everyone will be batteried quite well afterwards also, including herself. Although skill 1 is primarily for healing and reapplying Brave regen, and skill 2 for reapplying party buffs, I generally weave in an ability use in between her EX casts to make use of her aura buff to get her EX back up again quickly, so that she can reapply it to everyone. Save her C65s generally for the end of fights, when you're low on skills and or need an emergency heal. Okay, onto her pros. If you hadn't noticed by now, she is one of the most unique buffs in the game that has yet to be given to any other character even in JP, allowing for a lot of fun with EX spamming for those with fast EX recharges, allowing slower, more powerful EXs to come up more often, and those who gain free abilities or skill recharges from the EXs get even more disgusting longevity. She essentially prolongs the longevity of all units, including herself, since when using an EX you're obviously not wasting one of your skills. All her abilities, including her Brave Plus and HP Plus, battery herself and the party afterwards, and along with her Brave damage reduction from wall, it leaves you much less vulnerable to breaks. She provides the party with a plethora of great buffs and auras, which also includes the highest iBrave buff in the game, Brave damage reduction as mentioned, and the ever useful debuff evasion. She can be a great budget unit with minimal ingot investment, or a long-term support unit for months to come, and can easily slot into many team comps and fights. Resistances, whether it be elemental, magic, weapon type, whatever, it means nothing to her, since she just lives off her own battery, outside of her Brave Plus, which you won't be using that much. Except I probably will have to. RIP. Well, for her cons, her living off her own battery is a double-edged sword though, because she can't shave for shit. Don't rely on her Brave Plus for anything other than battery, so don't let her be the last in line looking at a giant enemy Brave amount. I always found it hilarious when I was needing to shave and she was the only one left, and out of desperation I'd use the Brave Plus and she'd hit for a nice 1 Brave damage worth. Thank you Selphie for that contribution, and then rip the run. She gives 3 generic buffs and 2 unique buffs to herself, and this leaves only 1 buff slot open for her, and if the other buffs from other party members don't overlap, they can easily push off her powerful buffs. Fortunately, she only gives 3 buffs, only, quote unquote, she only gives 3 buffs for the other party members, but her giant iBrave buff is generic, so can be pushed off as well, or dispelled by the enemy. For support, 40% attack aura is a bit on the low side, so you may want someone else on the party to bring some attack auras as well, but she makes up for it by often filling up everyone's Brave. Her EX will take 2 turns off her buffs due to the instant turn rate, and with it only giving a 3-turn buff, the faster units can burn through it quick before she can even reapply it. But even so, like with Vayne, he would recharge his EX quicker during that aura window, and recharge his skills at the end of it using his EX. So just make sure he uses a skill or 2 when he has the aura buff on, and try to make sure a turn is not wasted when he has his EX already up. Meaning, cast Selphie's EX after Vayne casts his EX already, for example. Also, her skill uses are quite low, with only a C65 to recharge them once, so she wouldn't be able to constantly reapply buffs to Vayne, for example. But her longevity is not an issue due to her fast EX recharge and the use of her HP+, she still can last in long fights. Wall doesn't do any HP dump like Beatrix's Saint Cloth does, but then again, Wall is more similar to Rosa's Prey, where you can prevent yourself and the whole party from getting broken too and or set up launches. And speaking of Wall, yes, that 70% debuff evasion, you will soon find out that her wall is filled with holes. 70% sounds kind of high, I guess, but I swear the debuffs are always getting through. Because if the enemy gives a lot of debuffs, it's a 30% chance that each of them gets through, and to block them all often seems like a tall order to ask of her. Having said all that, I've always felt Selphie has been quite underrated, and still continues to be. Selphie's EX on its initial release was one I planned to pity if I had to, and unfortunately I did pity it, but I had no regrets. She's a support healer who gives great buffs, auras, debuff evasion, and also allows for great eye-brave teams. Her EX buff is, as mentioned before, a mechanic still unique only to her to this day in JP, and allows for tons of fun with all sorts of EX characters. The stronger the EX of a character, the more useful Selphie becomes, meaning you can keep pairing her up with the next crop of meta units and let them spam their EXs. She was and still is chaos viable, even just at base EX I've used her for many chaoses already. So with a slight rework and EX Plus, she just becomes even more so. Whether at 0-3 or 3-3, she will be able to slot into many teams and contribute greatly. And while she may not live up to the Penellos, the Rosas, or the Yishas of the world, she's not that far off either. And at least for me, she adds a great fun element to play, and isn't that what this game is all about in the end anyways? Fun. So on that note, let's take her into the chaos and have some fun. I've chosen a team that's both, I think, fun and ridiculous at the same time. Massive eye-brave and brave memes. Rosa, having been the go-to eye-brave support prior to Selphie, she'll double down on giant eye-brave and max brave boosts we'll be getting from Selphie. And Sephiroth with his reunion stacks will be getting massive brave regens, along with extra overflow from Selphie's aura buff. He'll probably be hitting cap easily, is my hope. And both Rosa and Seph having free abilities after their EXs. Let's see how ability spam heavy we can get, shall we? And Brother Summon. Cause yeah, max brave memes. Let's go. Alright. Well, hey, look at that. A Deso friend. Let's just go ahead and... Ooh, pretty good arts too. Let's go ahead and try out the new purple Deso, shall we? Let's go. I'm going to... Hey, this is the same boss as from Renoa's last chapter. So I'm just going to try to focus on the main guy as much as possible, hopefully. I don't have a great AoE team here, but it's fine. You're always going to want to start with S1 with Sephiroth first. And get prey up with Rosa. And now we get wall up with Selphie. And then now you can S2 with Sephiroth. Now he is at full potential. Look at that, 94k. And I'm gonna use her skills because I want her EX to come up. Take advantage of the aura buff. Now I'm gonna use HP++ with Selphie. Look at, you can see that she batteries herself pretty decently, 10k. She's not gonna get broken after she does HP++ usually. I'm just gonna break him. Actually, I want my EX up, so I'm gonna go ahead and Fervent Blow. And I don't want Sephiroth dying, so I'm gonna shave him and get my EX up as well. Look at Selphie's wall, letting just the poison through so easily, both of them. See, that's what I'm telling you, 70%, it doesn't feel like 70%. It feels like 70%, it lets the debuffs through. I'm gonna not get hit by him, so I'm gonna take care of him first. See, at least she does avoid breaks pretty easily. Now Rosa's EX up. Usually it wouldn't be up this fast, but it's already up. Free skill. Too bad Aura's not up. In that case, I'll go ahead and use it on his AA. His HP plus. We'll use his skills when he gets the aura buff back on, which will be now. Let's go Selphie. Beautiful Selphie. And we'll just go into HP plus right after. Look at everyone's gonna be massively batteried. Hey, she stopped poisoning at least that time. I am so capped on Brave. I'm just gonna kill this guy to avoid him HP attacking anybody. And we'll shave him. Look at that 44k, 44k. You just see that 44k eye Brave, and that's not including Rosa's battery as well. That is a little bit ridiculous. Look at him. 120k on his fervent blow. And we're just gonna HP plus plus. Battery everybody. And we're gonna shave him. Get our EX up as well. Jesus, Sephiroth. And he's back up. I'm just going to HP plus. I'm gonna use his EX when all the ads are called back. He's lost his wall buffs as well. Let's go ahead and wall, get everybody the buffs back. This is the reason Selphie will work really well with the launcher, like Tifa for example. Everyone's always filled on Brave, so all launches are gonna be pretty darn good. And we're gonna just use a skill here. Look at those poisons getting through. Shameful, Selphie. So shameful. Your wall is full of holes, but it's okay. At least sometimes it prevents debuffs from getting through, and sometimes at least the blinds and stuff it can prevent. Not all debuffs are a big deal. And hopefully I can jump through. Alright, we're gonna have to prevent Sephiroth from dying here. Get our EX up as well. Ooh, we're all alive. Don't worry. All alive. Okay, you die now. Jesus, I'm always filled with Brave. Always filled with Brave. I'm just gonna use an Octo Slash here. Start getting my EX up. That's my last turn of Aura, so it was good to use a skill on that one. Let's start healing back up, shall we? Jesus, Sephiroth. Jesus. That regain is ridiculous. It's obviously not only Selphie, it's Selphie and Rosa together that makes it ridiculous, along with his unique buff that gives him that giant Brave regen also, from his reunion stacks. And Let's get our prey back up. Fervent blow, because I'm so capped right now. We're just gonna HP plus. I want some Brave back for Rosa. And Selphie's gonna battery her here too. Oh, her EX is up. Look at that heal. Very nice. Very, very nice. Before, I had problems with Selphie not being able to heal as much. Hey, that wall worked out really well. Look at that. No debuffs went through. Fairly certain that was a debuff skill, but we're all good. Let's go ahead and use a skill to get my EX charged. Yeah, overflow too. This will get my EX charged already. And then the HP plus will get my EX charged. And we're just gonna drain, heal everyone up again. And EX. Hey, good job. 70% is working right now. Aura's back up already. We just have too much brave. Too much brave. Sephiroth's always like, what am I supposed to do with all this brave? Let's go ahead and Divine Blast. Well, didn't have wall up for that, so I can't blame Selphie for that. It's just HP plus here. No, I have aura buff on, right? Yep, let's use a skill instead. Easy cap. Let's get our walls back up. Push those debuffs off. And let's get our EX up with Rosa. Look at that, everyone's EX is always up nowadays. Let's just use it for the free skill. He should be dead before he does anything. I'm gonna use Aura because Sephiroth's gonna get his free skill. I wanna use it with Aura up. There we go, HP plus plus. So much brave. So much brave. Alright. The single target bosses with Selphie and Tifa would have been amazing. But I love Sephiroth as well. Let's just go ahead and his ridiculous regains. Always capped at 60k max brave. That is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and use a skill again because he has aura up. Oh, look at that damage. That's 150k almost. Let's get her EX up going. Now, let's use her AA. Start being a little aggressive. I don't know what attack this is, to be honest. I'm just gonna brave attack. I'm gonna get my EX up anyways. Look at that, 97k. Okay, I didn't need a brave attack. I forget what this guy does. I remember he was in the Dimensions End tier 6, I believe. Let's heal everyone back up. Get our EX up as well. And Divine Blast. Sephiroth, look at your max brave. What is going on? I want to dump this first. And this should prevent us from getting broken. And heal us back up. Yo, you heal. That's not cool. And let's get our EX up. We'll just pray. Refresh it. Nice miss. Time to start dumping skills. 150k damage. Good job. Man. I'll refresh wall afterwards. I'm gonna switch out Sephiroth for Desil so I can spam his skills no problem. And for Rosa, we can also start spamming skills because she has a lot left too. Now we're gonna refresh that wall, get her EX up again. Get our free skill. And I'm gonna pray get my EX up and also prevent a break. Damn, Sephiroth is the man. Man, this debuff hurts, dude. Let's I have aura, right? So I want to use a skill. I'm gonna guess he's doing it HP with no brave attack. I'm gonna use this. Guess I was right. And I'm gonna go ahead and heal us up because I'm gonna kill him. I think he does something after I kill him too. So let's heal up. And we'll drain as well. Yep, well, I only need to avoid the break. Not a big deal. Go ahead and Divine Blast. I'm gonna dump this. I'm gonna switch into Deso soon and summon. We're going to get our EX up with the skill here. Yeah, that's fine. I'll pray with Deso. Here we go, baby. So you're gonna want to use his AA with the friend unit, get it below 50% so that he gets his plus abilities, and then a summon. Boom! What a man. What a man. 260k. I'll take it. With the high turn rate in the summon. Beautiful. Now we can set up for the next launch. Launch meta is back, babies. I'll use your EX after. Launch meta is back. Boom. Sayonara indeed. Sayonara. Oof. Fill up our brave. HP damage up from Pandemonium Summerboard is working out well too. I batteried Deso for no reason, but it's okay. I think Sephiroth has max brave anyway. Yep, as usual. Let's go ahead and... Does he have aura on? He does. It's okay. I'm gonna get him out of break. Get him out of break. My last divine blast. It's okay. I'd have to say I was very liberal with skills, and everyone was pretty much spamming the whole time, more or less, and ended up with just enough. Beautiful. And that, my friends, is Selphie in a nutshell. This wasn't even an ideal team for this single target boss fight, but she just let him work. I mean, Sephiroth is pretty good single target DPS damage, and she was making them cat brave all the time, so she just works with any team comp and launchers, you name it. It's beautiful launches. So I hope you see the worth of Selphie, and I think she's underrated, and I think more people should go for her than probably is being advised, but that's just my opinion, and I hope it helps some people out there, and thanks for watching again. I'll be doing the next video on Leo, and I'll see you then. Bye.